Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. My name is Nur Faiza and my metric number is A21A2826, and today I will present to you guys about 14 principles of Henry FAYOL. So first we go to introduction. Organization can be defined as a group of people who collectively undertake certain action such as planning, arranging, coordination, structuring, administration, organizing, management, logistics and the like in order to achieve a predetermined goal. An organization can be a business or a government department. Management also be known as the act of getting people together to accomplish desired goals and the objective using available resources efficiently and effectively. So the process of the management is really useful for the organization. Management function, like its say, will help the organization to growth and development effectively with the cooperation of all the workers that work in the organization. Okay, next we go to the administrative theory by Henry FAYOL. Henry FAYOL was a management theorist that introduced a new way into looking how businesses operate in his work General and Industrial Management. He set out 5 functions to management, which is planning, organizing, coordinating, commanding and controlling. Planning, according to FAYOL's theory, management must plan and schedule every part of industrial processes. Number 2 is organizing. Henry FAYOL argued that in addition to planning a manufacturing process, management must also make a certain all of the necessary resources like raw materials and personnel came together and at the appropriate time of production. And number 3, coordinating. Coordination aims to ensure optimal harmony between the various activities of the organization. Good coordination facilitates the work and make the functioning of the organization more successful. Next, number 4, commanding. Henry FAYOL's management theory states that management must encourage a direct personnel activity. And the last one, controlling. The final management activity, according to Henry FAYOL, is for the manager to evaluate and ensure that personnel follow management's commands. Henry FAYOL also has distinguished between technical skills and management skills. Henry FAYOL also developed the 14 principles of administration, and I will explain it later in next slide. The focus of this theory is on the type of hierarchy and specialization that can enhance organizational efficiency. In my opinion, strategic management at the highest level is very suitable to form an organization at the lower level that is more orderly, so the production results and service efficiency are improved and higher quality. Okay, now I will explain to you guys about Henry FAYOL's 14 principles of management. First is division of work. Work should be divided among individuals and groups to ensure that effort and attention are focused on special portions of the task. FAYOL presented work specialization as the best way to use the human resources of the organization. The second principle is authority. The concepts of authority and responsibility are closely related. Authority was defined by FAYOL as the right to give orders and the power to exact obedience. Responsibility involves being accountable and is therefore naturally associated with authority. Whoever assumes authority also assumes responsibility. The third principle is discipline. A successful organization requires the common effort of workers. Penalties should be applied judiciously to encourage this common effort. Okay, next, unity of command. Workers should receive orders from only one manager, and this can prevent confusion and conflict in receiving and giving instructions. Okay, next, unity of direction. The entire organization should be moving towards a common objective in a common direction. Next, subordination of individual interest to general interest. The interest of one person should not take priority over the interest of the organization as a whole. Next principle is remuneration. Many variables such as cost of living, supply of qualified personnel, general business conditions and success of business should be considered in determining a worker's rate of pay. Next principle is centralization. FAYOL defines centralization as lowering the importance of the subordinate role. Decentralization is increasing the importance. The degree to which centralization or decentralization should be adopted depends on the specific organization in which the manager is working. And next, scale chain. Managers in hierarchies are part of a chain like authority scale. Each manager from the first line supervisor to the president possesses certain amounts of authority. The president possesses the most authority and the first line supervisor the least. Lower level managers should always keep upper level managers informed of their work activities. Now we go to the next principle is order. For the sake of efficiency and coordination, all materials and people related to a specific kind of work should be treated as equally as possible. Next is equity. All employees should be treated as equally as possible. Managers can apply these strategies in their relationships with members of staff. Where they do, they will avoid all forms of partiality, treat all staff equally. And next, stability of tenure. Retaining productive employees should always be a high priority of management. Recruitment and selection costs, as well as increased product reject rates, are usually associated with hiring new workers. And the 13th principle is initiative. Management should take steps to encourage worker initiative, which is defined as new or additional work activity undertaken through self-direction. And the last principle is esprit de corps. Esprit de corps is a French phrase which means enthusiasm and devotion among a group of people. Management should encourage harmony and general good feelings among employees. Okay, next we go to the viewpoint about the approach in today's context. Today, conflicts between employees and employers often occur, causing many employees to feel stress in their lives. This conflict also occurs because the employer is not well behaved or the employer is not friendly enough to cause the employee act poorly and work hard. So in our viewpoint about the approach in today's context, Henry Fayol's principles advocate teamwork and working together for the mutual benefit of the business. The 5 functions reveal the need for organizations to plan and be agile in the face of changing market conditions. Besides that, Henry Fayol was one of the first people who recognized that management is a continuous process. Before human resources management, Henry Fayol wrote about motivating people by inspiring initiative, commanding respect, truth values, and ensuring that people have the time and training they need to be happy and productive at work. The manager who is respected for their values leads by example, makes time to get to know their employees and give them the training that they need. And that sounds a lot like a modern manager.
My name is Nabi Swandi and my matrix number is A21A3339. Next, I will share about advantages and disadvantages of Henry Fayol theory. First, division of work. The advantage of this principle is increase in the speed of production, decrease in the amount of resources that are wasted, and improvement in the overall quality of the work. The disadvantage is there is no way for every worker to be knowledgeable about every step of the production process for a product. Workers also may experience boredom if they are required to consistently and repeatedly carry out the same task without change. Second, authority and responsibility. The advantage of this principle is no misuse of authority in the management and will ensure that tasks are met on time and without causing any delays. The disadvantage of the misuse of authority due to excess authority and overburden with work with excess responsibility. Third, discipline. The advantage of this principle is make systematic working in the organization and it will improve efficiency. The disadvantage of this principle is delay in work due to absence of rules and regulations. 4. Unity of command. The positive effects of this principle is there is no misunderstanding in the perspective of the subordinate. This is because the subordinate only receives and gives the information to one manager only. The negative effects of this principle is difficulty in maintaining discipline in the organization. This will happen when the subordinate do not want to hear the command from other departments manager. 5. Unity of direction. The advantage is efforts of all the employees get unified towards one direction only. The disadvantage is the wasting of time and resources caused by working in multiple directions. Next, it will cause difficulty in achieving organizational goals. 6. Subordination of individual interest to general interest. The advantage is there will be achievement of organizational goals. This is because the subordinate only focus on the achievement of the company. Meanwhile, the disadvantage of this principle is the employees will suffer in the long run because they have no time for themselves. 7. Remuneration to employees. The advantage of this principle is the employees will get motivated. Also, increases in employees' dedication and commitment are observed. The disadvantage of this principle is the turnover of employees. This is because the employees that only did the basic things in the office will only get minimum wage. They will find the method that the company used to pay wages is not fair for them. They will find other jobs that pay wages based on the minimum wage. 8. Centralization and decentralization. The positive effects of this principle is the fast decisions at operational level and strict control by top level. The negative effect is if company completely use centralization will result in delaying decision. Meanwhile, if company completely use decentralization will result in misuse of authority. 9. Scala chain. This chain will help in making sure that systematic flow of information goes well in the company. It also making sure that there is no communication gap in the organization. Meanwhile, the disadvantage of this principle is there will be a lack of transparency in the authority responsibility connection. 10. Equity. The advantage of this principle is employees will get satisfied with the kind effort from managers. It will also boost the workers' morale and motivation by providing them with praise and encouragement. Meanwhile, the disadvantage is a problematic relationship exists between the superior and the subordinate. 11. Stability of personnel. The positive effects of this principle is the employees will see an increase in their level of efficiency. Next, there should be no wastage of either time or resources. On the other hand, this principle could lead to employees expressing feelings of annoyance and discontentment. It will cause to employees think out to other company. The instruction for the new job was a complete waste of resources. 12. Order. The advantage is there is no need to waste time looking for either people or material as well as the organizations functioning in a smooth and systematic way. The disadvantage is employees will become bored and lost the spirit to work at the company. 13. Initiative. It will give positive effect like creates in employees a feeling of connection, and if those individuals are set up with their consultation, they are more likely to complete their work within the given time frame. The negative effect is employees will not work to the best of their ability and will give them their motivation. Lastly, esprit de corps. Esprit de corps will develop team spirit and help the team to achieve company's goal. This is because the employees feel happy to achieve company's goal with the help of other employees and managers. This principle also has the disadvantages, which is the employees always have a conflict when they have different ideas to complete the company's goal. It will make them separate and make it harder to achieve company's goal. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullah. My name is Taufik Hamdi bin Muhammad Azmi. My metric number is A21B3143. Today, I want to deliver about the related example of Henry FAYOL approach. First principle, division of work. In a bank, one person is assigned to deposit cash, another to give cash, another to make entries in the passbook. Authority and responsibility. A person is assigned the task of producing 100 units of goods without being granted the authorization to buy the raw material. Discipline. Employees must work successfully and efficiently in order to honor their commitments to the company. Unity of command. In a production department, employee is instructed by the production in charge to slow down production in order to maintain quality standard, while the sales in charge instruct the person to speed up production in order to satisfy pending orders. Unity of direction. In a company, produce a variety of products such as cosmetic and medication. Each product has its own market and business environment. Subordination of individual interest to general interest. Before purchasing raw material, the manager must analyze the pricing and characteristic of all the suppliers and place order with the best. Remuneration of person. If a business earns more profit, then it can be distributed to shareholder and owners each year. A portion of the profit must be distributed to employees in the form of a bonus. Centralization and decentralization. The important choice and action of establishing organization goal, plan, policies, and strategies can be centralized. Principle of Scala chain. The game plan can be used by a lower level employee who need to deliver urgent information to the company's CEO. Principle of orders. If a worker requires a tool, he must know where to look for it in the tool room or box. Principle of equity. People of various nationalities work together without discrimination in multinational corporations. Stability in the nature of personnel. Assume that products are becoming increasingly expensive. The corporation is making a profit. Principle of initiative. Doing something without being asked to do it is referred to the initiative. Spirit decor. If a production manager gives a group of 10 people a goal of producing 100 units, each person must contribute 100 units to meet the goal. For conclusion, in today's company, Henry Fayol classical management theory has a wide range of application. This is because certain of Fayol's principles of management are applicable to the management of organization. Henry Fayol principles serve as a foundation around which many other theories were built. The idea is in the identification of the most effective method for managing organization and achieving defined goal and objective.